I don't even know where to begin. So let's start at the beginning then. When I first heard about what was then called CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, there was a lot of things in the news that seemed to contradict one another.
The colorful Black Lives Matter street mural has become the centerpiece of an area on Capitol Hill, now being called CHAZ. The mayor yesterday calling it like a block party, but let's be clear, this is not a block party.
Yes, that area has been transformed since a series of violent demonstrations and after Seattle police abandoned their precinct.
And one of the only news companies that were reporting on this was Fox News, and obviously they had a lot to say about CHAZ.
This is no different than ISIS taking over cities in the Middle East.
And these people have taken over. This is a hostage situation.
You should know that there are no beaches in CHAZ. This is a tiny nation. It's smaller than Liechtenstein.
So I got in a car and I drove north to Seattle from San Diego. And when I got there, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what story I was going to tell. I walked in, and to be completely honest, it looked like a street fair. There was music and dancing and DJs, soccer, basketball. There was art absolutely everywhere. Whether or not you think that's right or wrong, it was pretty cool. I didn't know anybody. I walked around for about an hour and a half taking shaky B-roll, looking like a complete idiot.
No, bad question.
Okay.
Okay.
Why? Then I went back to my car and I sat there thinking, what am I doing? I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea why I was there or what I was doing there. But I thought the best place to start would be to interview people and sort of understand the culture from the perspective of the participants. So I walked around, I got a few interviews throughout the day. I went back to the house where I was staying at, I threw it together and published it to YouTube, and that was the end of the day. After I'd published the video originally, I was looking through some of the interviews, and there was a lot of hypocrisy in what people were saying, and there was a lot of anger and a lot of hatred.
Man, listen, we just want to send a message of love and unity. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how many trainings police officers have to go through until we just need to let them go.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a voice, and it's like you shouldn't think that yours is too small to use. Also, SPD can SMD suck my dick.
The decision to board up the precinct, our home, the first precinct I worked in, was something I have been holding off.
There was a lot of hatred and a lot of hopelessness. It was people who believed that the system had failed them, and for that it should be wiped away completely.
The history of policing is not a good history. It needs to be started over. It needs to be abolished.
Well, we're fighting to change a system that doesn't cater to us. So if this is how it has to be done, then it has to be done.
But if the cops just come and everyone, enough with this, get out, yeah, then there's going to be a bigger problem. I can't even focus on what that would be.
And there were people there who were saying that the only way to fight systemic racism was to completely burn the country to the ground and start over. But since I'm an extrovert and I was in this street fair and there was music and dancing and everything that I'd been craving since the beginning of COVID, there was these conflicting ideas in me where, one, this is something I've been missing, but on the other hand, there are some things here I don't really like. And on Sunday, because it was a very happy atmosphere, it wasn't really that apparent sort of how much hatred there actually was in Capitol Hill during this week, until Monday. So on Monday, I'd already posted my first video, and I still had the entire day in Seattle, so I decided to go back to CHAZ, which is now called CHOP, Capitol Hill Occupied Protest, for a very specific reason, which I think is important to understand.
It's an occupying protest. We're not trying to secede from the country or separate ourselves from it.
So I went back on Monday. It was raining in the morning, and it was a work day, so there weren't as many people there. But I noticed there was one street where there was two people fighting, like throwing hands. And then all of a sudden I start hearing shouting down the street.
I saw a flag and I saw a man with a Trump shirt and a red hat. So I see him walking with a hot, heated crowd following him.
So I run over there to see what was going on.
He didn't hurt nobody here. He didn't hurt nobody here though. They said we beat him up, but they said we savage. But he did not. So we gonna keep it safe. Guys, I'm gonna organize. Hold on. Stop. Don't do that, man.
Because you guys are all just childish, and you all need to grow up. I'm 52. You all need to grow up.
And then I hear shouting from someone, and I talked to him afterwards, and he said this is what bothered him the most, where someone shouted, "How did security let him in?" So yeah, they built a wall around their city that isn't just to keep bad guys out, but it's to keep out the flow of ideas.
So you think, so there's a lot of different opinions?
Yeah, a lot of different opinions, and that was just a small select group, and they don't speak for me, and I don't speak for her or you or anyone else. So, but that's the key. Everyone is American, and you need to have everybody speak, or else you don't know what they want to have say.
And I thought that was super cool that she stood up for something that she didn't necessarily believe in, but she did believe in the diversity of thoughts and the tolerance of ideas, which was something that was really missing from this place. There are people there who want to have conversations with the police department, who want to sit down with the city, who want to sit down with people with opposing viewpoints and come up with solutions on how we can actually make change.
As many police go in there, who gives a fuck? We're here to change things. So when we talk to them and get our shit together, that's when the fuck we're gonna get shit done.
We want people to express their rights and to express their rage and their anger about what is happening and continues to happen. But we want to work with you to move to a better day.
All right? If I can take a knee with the community to garner and broker peace, then I'll get on my knee every day.
And one thing I learned from talking to those people who wanted to have those conversations is that if we don't sit down with the cops, if we don't invite people who disagree with us into the conversation, we're not going to see change, and our message will be lost in the chaos. So I had to get out of there, and I had to see what the message was beneath the chaos.
The reason why you see the anger in Minneapolis is because this is not the first time.
What's one thing that you would want to say to a predominantly white audience? Something you want them to hear?
You guys didn't grow up in the system the same way we did. So therefore, you guys see a difference and a change.
And with your generation, it is crucial that you keep it up. It's crucial that not only do you get out and protest, but that you vote and that you change some laws.
Black folks have held that burden and done the work, and we've gotten this far, but at this point, it's everybody's responsibility to do something.
It's talking to people about racism and race, because for some, not for some, it's a lot of people, it's the first time they may have talked to someone about racism in their family.
Black Lives Matter is about equality. Of course, all lives matter, but the black ones don't right now, and we need to focus on our black brothers and sisters. We're all human, and we all should be treated equally.
In the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. What is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity.